Mario and Luigi fans, I have some pretty bad news. Now, of course, it's not the end of the world right now. It's still very, very early, but the first week sales have come in for Mario and Luigi Brothership, at least for Japan, and they aren't very good. The UK sales are pretty down as well, but we know Japan sales because that's the only one Nintendo has given us so far, but these are apparently the retail launch sales in Japan, and they are pretty low. We're looking at 63,000 sales. Now, when we compare this with the other Mario and Luigi games in the series, you can see this isn't good at all. It's on par with the original Mario and Luigi for Game Boy Advance with Superstar Saga, and it thankfully is more than Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, with that one only selling about 50,000 at this time period, but nowhere near the great heights of Dream Team, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, or even Bowser's Inside Story, which sold a whopping 220,000 in its first debut week. So this is the second lowest selling Mario and Luigi game, at least so far with week 1 sales, and that shouldn't be the case. With this being the very first Mario & Luigi game being on home console, bringing to a bigger audience and one as big as the Nintendo Switch install base is, how in the world did it only sell 60,000 units so far? Now, it's not total doom and gloom, let's be honest. Of course, this game could have a very long life, lots of legs and grow a lot more as the time goes on. We're approaching holiday season, and also this is just Japan sales, but we've been hearing the same thing with UK sales, and if it's the same with Japan and UK, odds are it could definitely be the same here in the States. Now, I don't have the numbers and couldn't find them for the first week's sales of the other Mario RPGs on Switch, like obviously Mario RPG and of course Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door Remake. Both of those games are remakes. This is a new game, so naturally, you would also expect this to be even higher than those, and it just hasn't been. Why has Mario and Luigi Brothership been selling so poorly so far? Now, some might say maybe it's because the Switch was dying, and not necessarily a good argument that you could make, because Zelda Echoes of Wisdom just sold over 201,000 copies its first week, and Super Mario Party Jamboree was a massive success its first week with over 227,000 units sold. So is it just a Mario and Luigi problem? Is there something wrong with the game? I don't think so. I think this game is for the most part divided. I'm seeing lots of mixed opinions online. I'm seeing some people that praise it and saying it's one of the best Mario RPGs ever, and some people that really didn't have a great time with it and said it's one of the more mediocre versions. And I personally am loving my experience so far. I'm at the very end of the game, and the game just keeps going on and putting more stuff out there. I love what they're doing with it so far, and I can't wait to see the final act. And personally, I have been eager to play this game every single day. I love everything about it, and I'm a big Mario RPG fan. I know it sounds crazy, but I can't help but wonder if maybe some bad reviews turned some people off, or maybe turned some people away from potentially purchasing this game. Seriously, IGN gave it a 5 out of 10, and it's one of the most trending things that we've seen on the internet, and as a lot of people like to troll IGN and say that that was just stupid and tease them about it, there's a lot of people that take reviews seriously. Believe it or not, yes, there are people out there that will buy or refuse to buy a game based on their reviews, and if a lot of people are watching IGN and see that 5 out of 10, it's not just a bad score, it's a shocking score for something with Mario in it, let alone a Mario RPG, and seeing a 5 out of 10 must tell people immediately that there's something inherently wrong about it. Personally, I think it's an absolutely abysmal rating. Seriously, there's nothing in this game that makes me want to rate it anything lower than a 7. So giving it a 5 out of 10 is just really insane, and I will still talk about this again later, but it definitely doesn't deserve a score that low. And you might say, well, that's one reviewer, but that one reviewer is a powerhouse in the gaming community. That's IGN, the International Gaming Network. Everyone sees that review. People who were within the gaming world are gonna see that review and just maybe even get turned off about this game if they even had a thought of purchasing it. If you even look at the Metacritic score, it's not anything amazing. It's sitting at a 79 right now, with the general user score at about an 8.2. So can we blame the quality of the game itself? I still don't know, because once again, I personally just don't see any reason why this game couldn't even crack 100,000 in first week sales so far. I know it's an RPG, so it might not resonate with everybody. It's not just a traditional 2D or 3D platforming Mario game, but still, it's a Mario game, and mostly Mario games sell. It's not like they played it extremely safe this time around and gave us another remake of an old game like they did with Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story, which led to the the bankruptcy of Alpha Dream in the first place, this is a brand new game. And it's not a basic safe one like Paper Jam. For the most part, it's very unique and has tons of unique characters and creatures and even a really unique, fun, brand new story and world to explore. So what in the world is going on this time around? Honestly, I don't know. I just don't see it being as bad to the point where it needs to sell as little as it did. I mean, it's not reviewed as the greatest Mario RPG of all time, but it's definitely not reviewed as the worst for a lot of reviewers and the majority of people that's played the game so far. And personally, I actually would put it up amongst the top of my favorite Mario RPGs so far. So what is going on? Well, we'll see very soon, but I believe one of the things that I've had in my head for a long time is that, yeah, it is because we are at the end of Nintendo Switch, but those other game sales being so good, it does kind of contradict this. Is it because it's the last game of this holiday season and everybody's already bought games like Echoes of Wisdom and Mario Party Jamboree, and a lot of people just didn't want to buy a third one for this holiday? I don't know. Either way, I really, really hope it has long legs because this is not good. I mean, this is not good for Mario and Luigi at all. If this was any other game, it would suck, but it wouldn't be dire. But this is Mario and Luigi, a series that has had some complications of recent years, and even with its sales. Paper Mario games have not been great in modern day, but at least its sales reflect better. But these sales are pretty low. I also want to finally start to believe that maybe it is because people are now getting tired of Switch. You know, they sat through September, there was no Direct or no presentation and no Switch 2 announcement. And they said, okay, cool, we'll move on to the next month. In October, there was no Direct, no Switch 2 announcement, nothing. And maybe people were like, all right, this isn't looking good. Maybe until the beginning of November. And then Nintendo had that press conference with their investors and still nothing. Absolutely nothing. So maybe people are finally getting tired of Switch and they're like, man, it's 8 years of these smaller scale games, maybe even a blowout of Mario RPGs where people are just tired of Mario RPGs after having 2 Mario Rabbids games, Mario RPG and Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door remake, and all these games year after year, sometimes within the same year. It has been a lot in recent years, so maybe people are just burnt out on the whole Mario RPG thing. Now this is very scary for Mario and Luigi. Obviously, after Alpha Dream went bankrupt and we thought we'd never see the series again, and it took them as long as it did to finally give us a new game in the series under a new developer, being Acquire Studios, it is very scary that this could mean the end of Mario and Luigi. I hope that's not the case. I hope that if this is a missed hit, that they try again one more time at least in the future. But odds are, if they do, it's not going to be for another very long time. And honestly, it's just scary if they're ever going to make another one at all because of this. And it goes further than this because now it makes me wonder, what is the rest of Nintendo's catalog of games going to look like? After 2 pretty successful launches with Echoes and even Mario Party, Mario & Luigi Brothership just kind of put a complete halt on things and slammed the brakes at the end of their holiday season, which is the most important time right now. You know, for them to be getting sales like that on probably what was to them one of their biggest holiday games, a brand new Mario RPG, this isn't going to go well. In fact, I think it is going to speak a lot when we enter next year. Entering a brand new year and possibly still not hearing anything about Switch 2, it's going to say a lot depending on how some of these other games sell. A remake of a remake coming with Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, and then another remake with Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Are these games going to sell at all? Because if they do sell pretty well, then all the eyes are on Mario and Luigi. Something's wrong with Mario and Luigi, whether people are just not interested in the series anymore, or whether the game just didn't interest people itself. If Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is another game that misses the mark and doesn't sell well, Nintendo's kind of in a tough situation because this shows they should have probably announced their next console ahead of time, at least to get some excitement out there. And I am wondering if maybe this is the reason. I wonder, what if Nintendo would have shown off the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal trailer sometime in September or October and said, hey, these games coming out this holiday will be available to play on Nintendo Switch 2. And they could have showed the new Mario and Luigi game running on the console and everything, or even just straight up had a big segment where they were showing all the backwards compatible games and showing how those games were going to run on Switch 2. Would it have been better for the sales of Mario and Luigi Brothership, or would it have been even worse? It's hard to say, but right now, I don't know if it could have been worse. And with these first week sales in, I wonder if it's going to urge Nintendo at all to reveal the console maybe sooner than later. Maybe there's still a slight chance for this year. Personally, I think absolutely not. I'm not even expecting anything until like February, the earliest, but maybe it presses Nintendo to do things a little earlier, or maybe as soon as we enter 2025, like early January. But as a huge Mario and Luigi fan myself, this is really hard to see, and it hurts my heart that after all of this great Mario RPG goodness and what seemed to be the revival of Mario RPGs, this is how the sales end for the final one on Nintendo Switch. Hopefully there is some growth. If you haven't played this game and are still on the fence about it, as someone who's reached the final, finale of the game, I'm at the very end right now, I can tell you right now, please play this game. Give it a try, give it a shot, ask for Christmas for Mario & Luigi Brothership, and give it a shot. Especially if you've never played a Mario RPG before, you'll want to try this out. Play the game, try it out for yourselves, and put some hours into this game. Don't play the first couple of hours and say it's too slow or too boring. Put some time into it, let the story develop and flourish. It's a long game, and it has a lot of content for you to explore, but I promise you it'll be worth your while. This was a really fun experience for me so far, and I am definitely excited to talk about it, but it is scary for us Mario & Luigi fans for sure. I guess the one thing that I wish is that Nintendo would have released this game earlier in the Switch's life cycle. I think if it was one of the first couple of years, or even the first 3 or 4 years, it would have done so much better. Like, so much better. Nintendo was getting massive sales from games that I believe didn't even deserve it at the time. So this is just another one that would have benefited a lot if it was earlier in the Switch's life cycle, and if they didn't take so long to actually reveal it. This being potentially one of the last Switch games, it's just kind of sad that this is how this game is going to get treated. But like I said, I'm hoping for some holiday sales and for some later growth, and hopefully we can make an update about this in a couple months and say that we were all wrong and Mario & Luigi sales are top notch and some of the best that we've seen in the series. What do you guys think? What's the reasoning for this game selling as bad as it is right now? Do you have an opinion, or do you have some type of reasoning that maybe I'm missing? Let me know down below, and thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.